Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome. We hope all our meetings are this packed, but it's a special occasion tonight. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Mr. Secretary, would you call roll for us?
Yes, sir. Mrs. Luna Chavez,
Present.
Mr. Almaraz,
Here.
Mr. Oberfeld,
Present.
Mr. Mesa,
Here.
Mrs. Webb,
Present.
Mrs. Haynes.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Let the records show that we do have a quorum of board members and that this meeting has been duly called in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This is the Board of Trustees, again, the regular meeting, today being Monday, March 24th, 2025. We'll have opening ceremonies first with a moment of silence for personal reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Again, it's so awesome to see all of you tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And we have a special night tonight recognizing some individuals. And I know Dr. Rios had an earlier group, which is so vital and important to the support of our organizations and our students, and that's the businesses that support the many programs that we have throughout the district. So I'll turn it over to Amy Childress with the TASB Business Recognition.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Businesses Standing Up for Public Schools is an annual recognition program established by the Texas Association of School Boards to celebrate the important support provided in local communities, express appreciation to those who stand up for schools, and encourage more businesses to participate in this sort of community service. The support of local businesses and other community organizations is vitally important to our district. These collaborative efforts yield creative, exciting opportunities for students as they advance their learning. The San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees and Administration appreciate your support. As I call your business or organization, please come on stage to receive your certificate of appreciation. Amistad Funeral Home. Border Federal Credit Union. Cadena Family Practice. Chick-fil-A. Community Angels. Connect Del Rio. DLP Services. La Quinta Inn and Suites by Wyndham Del Rio. Laughlin Air Force Base. McCoy's Building Supply. McDonald's. Money Concepts. San Felipe Lions. SEL Realty. South Texas Taekwondo Academy. Steve Forest Ranch. Style Nails by Jesse. Sugar and Spice. Sunset Memorial Oaks. Texas Roadhouse. Walmart. XPO Logistics, Inc. And Zales. And Off-Road Recovery.
You can't see the ladies in the back.
Maybe go up front.
Okay, ready? Look up here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Thank
Good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're my
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Good. How are you doing? Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank you for all your support throughout the years. Again, for helping us in every endeavor that we have in our district. Thank you, businesses. Okay, the next recognition that we have is item 4B on our agenda. Teacher Incentive Allotment Recognitions, Amy Childress.
Good evening once again. In 2019, the 86th Texas Legislature established the Teacher Incentive Allotment through House Bill 3 to provide additional funding for outstanding educators. The teacher incentive allotment aims to support teaching in high-needs areas in rural school districts while rewarding exceptional teachers. The designation system is based on locally developed criteria that considers teacher evaluation and student growth outcomes. Teachers can achieve one of 3 designation levels: recognized, exemplary, or master. This evening, the San Felipe Del Rio CISD is proud to honor 38 teachers who have earned the recognized designation, 5 teachers who have earned the exemplary designation, and 1 teacher who has earned the master designation. At this time, I will call up those who have been designated at the recognized level teacher. This designation indicates that the identified teacher has achieved a level of teacher appraisal and student growth performance that places them in a level commensurate with the top 33% of teachers in the state of Texas. Dana Baivalle. Melinda Brijalba. Gabriela Calderon. Esmeralda Cardenas. Hilda Cardenas. Marlene Chavez. Melva Cortez. Julissa Cortinas. Melinda Escanuela. Liza Fabella. Sarah Fernandez. Juanita Flores. Amanda Franco. Carolina Gallardo. Augustina Garza. Alida Garza. Sabrina Gomez. Alice Lopez. Catherine Martinez. Sarah Martinez. Adrian Ochoa. Guadalupe Ortiz. Lisa Ortiz. Melva Bettis. Brenda Rodriguez. Esperanza Rodriguez. Victoria Rodriguez.
Victoria!
Christy Sanchez. Vanessa Sanders. Janice Segura. Leslie Sorrell. Ricardo Tapia. Alejandra Torres. Ada Trevino. Kelly Weatherly. and Allison White.
That's you. That's you. Let's go, bro. Congrats.
You want us to move up or move back?
Move up a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Can you pass this Texas down this way? Perfect. All right, Sabrina. Woo! Okay, ready? 1, 2, hold on. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
These are the teachers that are among the top 30% in the entire state.
Congratulations. Awesome job. Congratulations.
I know.
Congratulations. Good. How are you doing? Good. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job. Thank y'all. Congratulations.
Very, very.
Amazing job.
It is.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Anytime. Anytime. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey, this should have happened 31 years ago. Yes. That's awesome.
At this time, I will call up those who have been designated as at the exemplary level teacher. This designation indicates that the identified teacher has achieved a level of teacher appraisal and student growth performance that places them in a level commensurate with the top 20% of teachers in the state of Texas. Lauren Gardenas. Raquel Gardenas. Nicolasa Delgado.
Congratulations.
And Lynette White.
One, two, three. Hold. One, two, three. Awesome, thank you.
Top 20% in the entire state.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations. Good to see you.
At this time, I will call out those who have been designated at the master level teacher. This designation indicates that the identified teacher has achieved a level of teacher appraisal and student growth performance that places them in a level commensurate with the top 5% of teachers in the state of Texas. Miss Brenda Campos.
One, two, three. 1 second, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome, thank you.
Brenda Campbell is the single teacher, top 5% of the state.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Yes.
Oh, that could have hurt. Yeah. Get everybody else.
Give him like 5 minutes.
Yeah. How much time do you want, sir?
Again, we want to congratulate all the teachers. Finally, Again, after working for about 5 years, the district has placed together the teacher incentive allotment, and so they will be getting their reward for being such awesome teachers throughout the district. Again, thank you, teachers. Thank you, families and support, for being here with them this special night. Okay, the next item we have on our agenda is citizens' comments. We have one person that has signed up, Lauren Cardenas. She will be speaking to policy EIC local, which is academic achievement class ranking. Welcome. And again, we'll have 3 minutes, okay? If you could,
3 minutes or 5?
we'll say 5, if you only,
Okay,
you're the only one that signed up.
Thank you.
Before you start, can we let them clear the doors that way?
Yes,
there's not
so we can
background?
hear.
Yeah.
Again, some of the rules that we have, we'll listen to you. We won't respond, but we'll certainly listen to your concern.
Coach McCray taking care of it?
What's the crowd?
Where's the whistle?
Please close the door. Okay. You're okay.
All right. Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. My name is Lauren Cardenas. I'm a math teacher here in our district. I am in a unique position where I have the opportunity to teach students from both DRHS and ECHS. In my 11 years with the district, I have taught almost every level of math class, from AP Calculus to regular geometry. I am speaking tonight purely as a voice for our students, past, present, and future, who deserve a class ranking system that is fair and equitable. I have been researching GPA and class ranking for many years. In the past few years, I have noticed a trend across Texas in school districts making major changes. Many have recognized the systemic inequities in their rankings and have adjusted accordingly. In my research, I had a very, very difficult time locating a district that counts almost every single course towards class ranking GPA, like ours does. College admissions continue to get more competitive. For example, did you know that the University of Texas at Austin will only be auto-admitting the top 5% of graduating classes next year? That's right. 15 years ago, when I was in high school, the top 60 students at DRHS were auto-admitted. Starting next year, only the top 25 DRHS students and the top 5 ECHS students will be auto-admitted to UT. We need to think critically about what that difference between number 25 and number 26 will look like. Our very top graduates would be the first to admit the lengths they have had to go through to maintain their ranking. To them, excelling in the classroom was never going to be enough. They had to load their schedules with GPA boosters, giving up on CTE pathways and extracurriculars that they were passionate about. They will also admit the toll on their mental health GPA chasing has caused. Restricting class-ranked GPA to only use core area classes would give our students greater freedom in pursuing their interests while making a stronger college application. Believe it or not, most competitive universities do not consider high school GPA in admissions. Many universities in Texas say they value students who have taken a rigorous academic path and completed challenging courses on the AP level. Stanford encourages applicants to achieve at a high level across the core area subjects, and Harvard states that there is no single academic path we expect all students to follow, but the strongest applicants take the most rigorous secondary school curricula available to them. As we move forward, we want a system to encourage students to forge their own path. If a student is interested in culinary arts, let them pursue the culinary pathway. If a student wants to go into business, then they absolutely should pursue the business pathway. If they want to excel in band, in orchestra, in bells, encourage them to continue taking those courses. And all of these students would still have the opportunity to be ranked at the top of the class. Why? because they would not be concerned about those courses bringing down their GPA. It is impossible to compare health sciences to fine arts, computer science to the trades. The core areas provide a level playing field. If a student comes to their counselor, their teacher, their principal, and asks, how can I improve my GPA? Guess what we would be able to tell them? Get good grades. No more of take this class or change to this pathway. Prove it in the classroom. The proposed class ranking changes may not be perfect, but we cannot let perfection be the enemy of progress. There are still many issues to be addressed, and I have every confidence the district will do what is right. Issues such as a lack of drop deadlines or no published academic guide for parents explaining courses and their respective GPA weights, or students being unaware of the effects of middle school courses on high school GPA, or the fact we have students currently earning college credit through the University of Texas and not getting the GPA boost they deserve. I have witnessed high academic achieving students fall in rankings because they did not have the insider knowledge on boosting their GPA. It's definitely not fair, and it is absolutely not right. And we as educators need to do what is right. We should ask ourselves, what does class rank intend to measure? If we truly want to reflect academic excellence, we must ensure it rewards students who take on the most challenging coursework in core academic areas. If you have any questions, you can find me at DRHS room 804 or at the robotics lab. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on our agenda is a public hearing, item 6A. And the public hearing is the 2023-2024 Texas Academic Performance Report, also known as TAPER. Jane Villarreal will present the TAPER report.
Good evening, Board President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Tonight I will be presenting our TAPER report in this public hearing. Texas Education Code Section 39.306 requires us to hold a public hearing to discuss the TAPER report, the Texas Academic Performance Report. Once we present this tonight, within 2 weeks following tonight's meeting, we will post this report at our district website, all campuses in our district, and then of course here at our central office. Now, a couple of things that we need to include here in our district report, and you can see here on our PowerPoint this evening, we have the glossary, and you will find that at Section C of your binder. Section F will be the bulk of our report tonight. So that will include the district accreditation status. It'll include our TAPER report for the district. Also special education determination status, progress towards meeting our board adopted House Bill 3 goals, our PEAMS financial standard report, and then our campus performance objectives will be discussed this evening. Now, you'll see that most of the reports will be in Section F. However, Sections G through T do include each campus's reports. Those specific reports will be their campus TAPER, their accountability summary, campus comparison groups, financial actual report, and their their school report card. The other sections that we'll be discussing tonight will be Section W, and that will be a report on violent or criminal incidents. And then Section Z, student performance in post-secondary institutions. So the district report is our final report for our school district. And so tonight we'll discuss 2023-24 school year performance. Again, this is not anything new. It's our final report for the year for 23-24. And of course, when we do publish it out to the public, it needs to be in the same format as the way TEA has provided, the same format. And you can find the TAPER report at TEA's website. That is a public report. And then again, like I mentioned, within 2 weeks, we will make sure it's published on our district website. Okay. The TAPER report does not have any A through F ratings or any distinction designations. Okay, Section C does include the glossary. So Section C has terminology that is included in the TAPER report, so definitions, methodologies, sources, and there is also a Spanish version available. Okay. Section F will include the district accreditation status. Now, TEA usually assigns 4 accreditation statuses, which is either accredited, accredited warned, accredited probation, or not accredited revoked. Now, they take several things into consideration when they give that accreditation status, such as academic accountability ratings, financial accountability ratings, data integrity, and program area deficiencies identified through RDA. Now, again, for this school year, 24-25, as well as last school year, 23-24, there has not been an issuance of A through F ratings. Those are pending. And so as of right now, we base it off the 20-23 accreditation status, and we were accredited at that time. Okay. Now we move on to the TAPER report, and I do have a copy of our TAPER report if there's any questions in regards to any of the sections. There are 11 sections in the TAPER report. I have included our goals that we've been monitoring throughout the years. Again, the TAPER report does have 11 sections to it. There's a STAR performance, and you'll see the performance for 23 and then 24 as a comparison. You'll also see that there will be state data, Region 15 data, and then our district data, along with all the sub-POPs, special ed current, special ed former, continuously enrolled, economically disadvantaged, and then of course our EB current and monitored. So 3rd through 5th is bilingual, 6th through 12 is our ESL program. Okay, so there's STAR performance in pages 3 through 11. We do have STAR progress, pages 12 through 13. We have our bilingual STAR performance, 14 through 15. We have STAR participation rates, attendance, graduation and dropout rates, pages 19 through 21. CCMR information, CCMR related indicators, post-secondary indicators, student info and staff info in this TAPER report. Again, I'm only going to include TAPER reading. We went over our goals, and this is where we're at right now in increase. Our goal was to increase from 31 to 62 by August 2025. So for grade 3, our target is a 62 by 25. And for our TAPER report this year, the 24, it was 41%. The next slide shows 3rd grade math. Again, our strategic goal that we set was an increase from 32 to 61 by August 25. And you'll see our target is a 61, and our actual is a 32%. Again, this is at the meets level. So there's 3, right? There's approaches. Well, there's actually 4. Did not approach, approaches, meets, and masters. So this is calculated at the meets level. CCMR, our goal is to move from 74 to 92 by August 2025. Our target is a 92, and our 2024 performance was an 82.9. Our graduation rate, you'll see a comparison for district, region, and state. There's a 4-year longitudinal rate for the class of 23, a 5-year for a class of 2022, and the 6-year for class of 2021. The district was at a 91.9 for class of 23, and you'll see the comparison to region and state. 2022, class of 2022 was at a 93.2, and class of 2021 was at a 91.5. We also need to include our special education determination status, which you will find on the cover page of the TAPER report. And so this year we met requirements, which was an improvement from last year. Again, it's on the cover page of the TAPER report. Section F will also include the progress of the district and each campus towards meeting their House Bill 3 goals. That's in early literacy as well as math. Those were the ones that we just reviewed here a bit ago. College, career, and military readiness also. Those were the goals. You'll find them in Section F. Those are the goals that we reviewed just a bit ago. Section F will also include our PEAMS financial standard reports. Again, you'll see the district under Section F, but each campus will have their own in sections G through T. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you go back to the graduation rate, please?
Yes, sir. Okay. Is there a question? Or?
Yes. The 4-year longitudinal graduation rate for the district is 91.9. That's what you have up there.
Right.
Okay. Except that, let me just double check something here. You might just be clarifying my mistake. Give me a second.
So for the district on page 19?
Yes, but I want to compare that to it's just that there's a couple of figures, and I just noticed it right now. I apologize for the delay, but on page, give me 1 second here. On page 21,
Yes? Yes, sir?
page 21 of 21 of 33. Are you there?
I am. Mhm.
Okay. What is that percentage referring to? Because it's the heading says attendance, graduation, and dropout rate. So it talks about the class of 2023, and it's the district. So I'm assuming,
It has a 94%.
So I believe these are the different, the different graduation diploma types, but I'd have to get an answer for you, Dr. Rios.
Okay, it's just, one, it shows an improvement from 90.3% to 94.7%. And it's 10 points above the state, and it's well above the region as well. So they're very favorable marks. But it's just confusing because there's different headings. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just noticed that now.
Okay. I can definitely double check that, Dr. Rios.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Section F will also include the PEIMS financial standard reports. Again, you'll find our district report in Section F. Each of the campuses will have their actual campus report, expenditures by object, by function, and program expenditures. Of course, our district had a financial rating of an A. Our campus performance objectives are tracked by our campus improvement plans. Section 11.253 requires each campus to have a campus improvement plan. And those campus improvement plans must include performance objectives based on data analysis and campus needs assessment that's done yearly. And then throughout the year, they measure progress on those performance objectives, ensuring that they go into the campus improvement plan to check progress throughout the year. Those CIPs are posted on our district website under federal programs for our public to view. Section W also includes the report on violent and criminal incidents. The annual report must include the following, which is the number, rate, and type of violent or criminal incidents that occurred on each campus, of course, protected under FERPA. Descriptions of school violence prevention and violence intervention policies, which you'll find under section, I believe it's Y, section Y. No, I'm sorry, section X. And of course, findings from evaluations, if any, conducted under the Safe and Drug-Free Schools and Communities Act. The district's report, again, is available at each campus and the district central office. And section Z has student performance in post-secondary institutions. Section 51.403 requires post-secondary institutions to report student performance during their first enrollment after high school graduation. Of course, this needs to be included in our annual report, our annual TAPER report. These data are sent to us by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and the most current information is for students that graduated 22-23. These are calculated by GPAs earned while they're attending a public 4-year school or 2-year institutions of higher education for the fiscal year 2024. So again, anyone that earned those credit hours, fall 23, spring 24, summer 24 as well. Again, availability of the report will be, we will post that report 2 weeks to our district website. Paper copies will be available at central office. And of course, the TAPER report will be available at every campus. And that is it. That's all I have for tonight. Any questions?
I'll turn it over to the board members. I want to make a couple of comments. It seems like third grade math, reading, it's kind of average. You get to fifth grade, they did quite well. You get to seventh grade, eighth grade, it really, I mean, it's low. But then you look at the even third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade bilingual ESL, compared to the region, they're low. So that's an area that, and then I make the correlation with attendance. I know we're going to discuss attendance later on, but there's a big correlation with attendance and the scores as well. Notably, Garfield has the attendance is low there compared to the other campuses. And then I look at the campus. Science is low, if I remember, 54%. And science has been an area that I've been wanting to address, having a science background, whatever resources are needed in the classroom to make sure that these scores go up, whether it's equipment, whether it's unit studies. 54 is low. Again, 7th and 8th grade, I don't know why. Something really needs to be revamped there. They do, in the end of course exams, they do quite well. SAT, ACT, I mean, they're right on there, right on target. Graduation rate with Blended Academy, although Blended Academy, again, their attendance is going down, but it does help out with late graduation, but they still graduate. Those are some things that really stand out. But I think, again, something needs to be done in the area of science. Again, as I mentioned, they do kind of average work, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade excel. And then they come to 6th grade, it was over the reading average. But then 7th and 8th grade, it seemed like everything just bottom down. Everything just went down. Anyone else want to make a comment? Yes, Ms. Wood.
In addition to what Mr. Mesa was referring to with the science, the region on sciences, it's 63%, and we're 54%. But also social studies, and I know that we have addressed social studies in the past. And not only social studies, but our bilingual and ELA students. However, I know that our district, and you just saw how many teachers have excelled in what they do in the classroom. And I know that our district is also looking at highly effective instruction, and I know that your team is also working on plans to improve upon those deficiencies. It's not just that we look at the scores. If we look at ELA reading, for example, the state is at 67, the region at 63, and our district is at 53. So we're about 10% below the district. However, like I said, when you look at the end of course exam, for example, if you look at the end of course exam in U.S. history, the state is at 96, our district is at 94, and the region is at 96. But when I look at the high school, they're at 94. So we're very close at the end of course exams, but we need to look at the overall, just like Mr. Mesa alluded to. But thank you for what you're doing. And I know that the principals are also here, and they're going to be working on their CIP plan, their campus performance objectives. So that in itself, I think, will lead to us getting a better recognized status. But thank you, Ms. Yaria.
Yes, ma'am, thank
I
you.
do have to acknowledge that there were some changes made, and so for the betterment in regard to personnel and things with some of the districts that were scoring low. The other area that I look at very carefully is the number of students at master grade level, and that's an area that we really would like to see the principals get those students to the master level
Yes, sir.
as well. Anyone else? Any comments from the public? Then we'll close this public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on our agenda is reports. Item 8A, discuss survey results for the 2025-2026 San Felipe Adoro CISD school calendar. Amy Childers.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This evening, I am reporting on these 2025-2026 school calendar option surveys that was put out. With the help of the District Planning Decision-Making Committee, we put together 3 calendar options that were sent out. All 3 calendars have these common components. These are the holidays that we had discussed earlier. The primary differences between the 3 options, both option A and option B include 5 RTI dates and have a total of 175 instructional days. Option C had 4 RTI days with a total of 176 instructional days. We had a total of 616 responses to the survey that was put out. It was administered and put out for 2 weeks. And based on the responses that we received, option A received 352 votes, or 57% of those who responded. Option B received 204 votes, or 33% of those who responded. And option C received 60 votes, or 10% of those who responded. This next slide shows of those 616 responses, the classification of the employee type that voted for each of the options. And again, as you can see, option A received the most votes. So based on the information that we received from the survey responses, later on in the agenda, we have an item where administration will be recommending the option A calendar for approval for the 2025-26 school year.
Questions from board members? Mr. Alindo.
Ms. Childress, first, thank y'all for bringing this forward into the District Planning Committee. As far as the survey goes, is that given to them with only these 3 options and they can put their comments on there?
Yes, so we each of the 3 options are attached to the survey along with the differences and the common. And then there is an area that they can put any notes or comments that they'd like, and those were shared with you also.
Okay. And I guess my point is, at what point do we take those into consideration? Because there's a lot of comments that we got on here. And it's showing what they would wish, and at the end of the day, right, it comes down to what we can work with our staff to do, but just a thought, would it be possible to do a survey beforehand to see what options they would like and present them with those options? Because some of these, there's a common consensus, it's RTI days, and then one was the spring break, right? But is it able to do something beforehand and say, what would you like to see in this next calendar? And then the committee puts it together, says this is what we're commonly seeing, that they want RTI days on Mondays, Fridays, before the break, and then give some options on that, and then they can vote on it? Because they're voting on the options that are given and not really able to, they give their input, but when is it taken into consideration? Not saying it's not, but I want to know that process, please.
So, Mr. Alindo, the way it should work is that the different committees that review the calendar should be represented by every campus. For example, the site-based committee. And there is where the campuses, talk to the representatives and make those suggestions so that they can have some kind of representation. Okay. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every campus, had their people even be aware of who the representative is to make it known, but it has to happen before then, because otherwise it would be too much data.
Okay.
So, we just need to encourage campuses to remind teachers, hey, this is your representative, and this is a person who's going to speak up for the calendar. Because to do it, after the fact, where the comments are coming in, you're right, it's almost pointless. And really, we're just giving them another chance to be upset because, well, I made this comment. Well, you made the comment after we voted on it. So we just probably have to go back and make sure that up front, when the committee's going to get together, that every campus is reminded, if you have any changes that you want from last year, here's where you make your voice heard.
And I understand, and that's why, we see the comments and we do read them and take them into consideration and want to try to work with the staff as best. But again, like I said, it's after the fact, but we don't want anybody to think we're not looking at them and reading them. We are. That's why we want to bring it up. If there's a better way, there's always room for improvement. So is there a better way that we can make sure we're listening to our staff and adhere to what works best for them? Because, some of the comments, had information. They would prefer Mondays compared to Fridays, RTI days, or things like that. So just want to make sure they're being listened to so we can make a calendar that's feasible. I know it can't please 100%, but if we can just look at that closer as we get ready for this next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Galindo. Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Overfelt.
As Mr. Galindo said, we read the comments. I read the comments, and I'm smart enough and man enough to know when I probably made a mistake and recommending that or saying that, hey, let's move RTIs to Friday and stuff like that. And I did it with good intentions of trying to ensure that students were going in and not being deprived of their education more so than normal. And I particularly singled out ECHS because of what their schedule looks like, and to go in and not deny that I got popped in the mouth for some of the comments on that there. I completely understand that. And I probably made a mistake in going in and suggesting that we move it to Fridays after looking through the stuff and hearing back from the teachers that 4 or 5 days after 6 weeks does make a big difference to them. And I should have known better. Very early on, I learned not to ever make fun of a bulletin board. There and the amount of work that goes into a bulletin board for elementary schools there, because that's a very sore subject there when you bring bulletin boards up. So I admit that was probably wrong for me to go in and say that, and I regret that I did that and caused angst amongst the teaching staff there. That being said, the initial survey was sent out on March 3rd, and then on March 12th, it was sent out again. A reminder was sent out again. That was one day before the kiddos were out, because the kiddos left on the 13th, and then 14th was an RTI day, I believe, or a in-service day. And out of that, we got, out of 1,500 employees, 616 submitted a response. That's a 41% response rate. It's probably one of the lowest ones we've seen in a very, very long time. I think that I believe we probably pushed it too late to them, because by the time we got into that week before spring break, let's face it, a lot of people are checking out, just trying to hold it together to get to that Thursday there. I don't know if there's a state mandated time frame that these have to be adopted by. At the risk of putting my foot in my mouth again, maybe we send it back and give, we send it back out with the main things that they're asking for is putting those RTI days back to, what was actually working for them, and run the survey again. As far as spring break and why it got moved up, Dr. Rios, you can answer to that as to why our spring break kind of changed, because of, our partnership with one of our learning groups there. So I don't know, that's a thought. Again, I acknowledge that I made a mistake in going in and saying, let's move it to Fridays so that certain kiddos aren't missing out on instruction, and that, like I said, that kind of set some people off. I apologize. If there is a way to go back and say, send it back, put everything to Monday, bring it back to us in April, and we'll be, and go from there, that would be good. But I do apologize to the teachers and staff for that suggestion. I had good intentions in heart, but it didn't go the way I thought it would. So,
Mr. Mesa.
Thank you, Mr. Orfeld. Dr. Rios?
Ms. Childers, can you bring up the survey results again between options A, B, and C? Okay. So Mr. Overfeld, I understand your concern for the good intentions. Here's an alternate solution. The option A was overwhelmingly the selected option. Okay. How about if we take it to site-based with the comments and have site-based with Ms. Adams review the comments, and then they can make a recommendation. And that way, the board can approve it today with the, provided that
with the
site-based, with the
provision that there could be a change in
Yes.
the days that the RTIs fall on.
Yes, sir. Now, the truth is that the way the budgets used to work, we needed to have the budget adopted the calendar adopted. Correct me, Ms. Childers, we do have some leeway now.
Yes.
So we could put the survey out again and have everybody vote on it again. But again, it's overwhelmingly option A. Another option would be to have site-based, just work it out with the representatives, and then they could tell their fellow teachers, hey, what is it that you want? And have them discuss it at the next meeting. But again, we could send it all out again. I'm just trying to move forward, whatever direction y'all would want us to take. Mr. Mesa, Mr. Overfeld.
Okay.
And that was my concern from the last meeting that we had, that we had low percentage of responses. And so I was hoping it'd be over 50%, but it wasn't. So whatever the board decides.
Yeah, I in looking at the responses here, RTI, the vast majority of them, about, let me see if I can find a good one. One of them that falls on a particular Friday feels unnecessary, disrupts the flow of instruction leading into STAR. A big one in there's thank you for keeping the RTI day, so that's good. But I think the big thing is, from reading it, teachers would rather it be, like I said, right there at the end of the 6 weeks, so they can delve into the data and not 4 days later than what's being proposed. And then, of course, the other big one was spring break. And spring break is because?
We don't want to have a different spring break than Texas State College because our kids participate on both.
Makes sense.
They have to coordinate between 3 districts, so it's easier if we coordinate with them versus Eagle Pass come up with one, Uvalde with one, Dehanes, everybody different. It's easier if we coordinate with them.
The easiest thing would be to site base, take it to site base. But again, if we have time, we'll take it back to the teachers.
I'm good with site-based, based on the
Okay?
option A percentage there. Yes, unfortunately, we did 41 again. It's probably, like I said, right before spring break. We're trying to hold it together mentally there, because I know in my classes I was trying to keep everybody on task too. If the board's cool with that, there I'm fine.
Board, fine with that?
Yes.
Take it to site base? Okay.
And just for clarification, so when it goes to site-based, when it goes to Miss Ruby, you'll be reaching out to each of the campus representatives, and they will ask they'll run a little kind of a mini survey amongst the campus and say, hey, do you want the RTI days back to the way it used to be, or on the Fridays, and then you'll bring us that information for addendum? Okay. Yes, okay.
And of course, the options, again, option A, B, or C, whatever. All right. Okay, then,
Thank you.
thank you so much for that report. Dr. Rios?
If it's okay, Mr. Mesa, can we move up item 14C just so that we can approve it right now, that it's fresh on our minds with the provision? And I'll read the recommendation.
14C. Okay, are all board members okay if we move item 14C, administration?
Yes.
Okay, the item reads, consideration to approve the 2025-2026 school year calendar with the recommendation.
Mr. Mesa, members of the board, it is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve option A calendar for the 25-26 school year with the provision that site base will review teacher comments and make changes as appropriate to the RTI dates.
Agrees with everyone? Okay, there's a motion seconded by Ms. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries. Then we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we go to the next report. Again, item 8B, report of middle school redesign. Sandra Hernandez.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This evening, I'll be presenting to you, I believe I've got the wrong slide here, sorry. Here we go, that's better. Today's presentation is to provide you with an update on our middle school redesign process. Last month, we talked about parent notification of students being rezoned from the middle school and from Garfield Elementary. Since then, as you see here, we have sent out letters. All of our letters have been received by the parents. Also, New Tech Academy has sent out acceptance letters. I believe they're still in the process of sending out acceptance letters for all of the middle school students. And this occurred during the week of March the 10th through the 14th. The Garfield rezoning letters were also delivered. We completed that process, so all of our elementary students at Garfield, attending Garfield, have received their letters notifying them of the school that they will be attending. With this process, what we've done is we've taken the rezoning map that was created by the demographer, and we have updated our school locator. And I'm going to show you our school locator. This is on our school website. It can be accessed through the A through Z area, and you'll find the school locator. And any parent can actually go onto the website and they can locate, this is aligned to the Google Maps, and they can actually type in their street address. And I'm going to, for the sake of sharing
It didn't
this.
show, Sandra.
Excuse me? It didn't show. Okay, let me try this.
Just close it.
Let me try closing. No, that's not where we want to go. We want to go to the district website. There we go. So we want to go to the A through Z. Going through the A through Z, we're going to find our school locator. Oh, it's stuck on the.
Can you escape and go directly to the website?
I just tried that. There we go. So here is the school locator. And they will access the maps, and it's aligned to Google Maps. So just for the sake of sharing, I'm going to share my childhood address. And you can type in, parents can type in their childhood address or their child's address, and this will give you exactly where the house would be, your residence will be, and you will see the zone schools. So in this case, as a child, I would be zoned to Lamar Elementary, if I was an elementary student, and Garfield Middle School, if I was a middle school student. I would be zoned to these two schools. So parents can actually go in there right now. Of course, they received their letter, but they would already know if they have an elementary child who is a fourth grader moving on to fifth grade and going on to middle school, they want to know what school they're going to be attending, they can already do this right now. And this is actually live. Okay, so we completed that one section, so we are done with the parent notification process and the rezoning process. We've also have completed the middle school staffing process. So for middle school staffing, we looked at the student counts. Once that we determined the student counts by middle schools, we have been able to then align them with the course offerings, the sections that they're going to need, the vacancies that they're going to have, and this is where our principals have now been able to determine the teaching assignment or reassignment. So middle school staff have received their notifications and they know what their current assignment is. We are now working in the process of working with Garfield staffing. So now looking at all of our elementary principals who have received the listing of students who are going to be rezoned to their campus. They're now in the process of doing the same thing, looking at their counts and determining the staffing needs at their campuses. And they are in the process of finalizing that process. And then lastly, I want to share with you the Citizens Committee. The last Citizens Committee was able to take a tour, a spirit tour, if you will, across campuses. They have gone to Buena Vista Elementary. They have gone to San Felipe Memorial Middle School, and they have gone to freshmen. the campuses, the elementary school, Buena Vista is the oldest elementary school, and got to tour, and you'll see that they got to see just the, what the school looks like and some of the things that are in comparison to some of the other elementary schools. They got to take their notes. They got to go to the freshman campus and got to see the freshman campus is the oldest school that hasn't had renovations, extensive renovations, so they wanted to look at that. And got to see some of the needs in that campuses all the way around. And then at San Felipe, and you can see here pictures. They enjoyed that tour. They got to take a bus ride on one of our electric buses and got to see. So the next step here is, as they've written their notes, they're going to come back and they're going to prioritize a list or give us a list of some of those areas in which they think we need to consider for capital improvements moving forward. So moving on into April, as I mentioned to you earlier, we'll be finalizing those staffing plans for elementary schools due to the rezoning. And then the Citizens Committee will reconvene to review those projects that may be recommended by the Citizens Committee for us to consider in making improvements. Any questions?
Board members? Mr. Almaraz?
As far as Garfield staffing, I see RBE and CHE principals weren't involved in that. Are we not sending teachers from Garfield to RBE or CHE?
Mr. Almaraz, we're only sending teachers to the campuses that are taking students from Garfield. If you'll notice later on in the meeting today, Tenisa Hills will have a whole lot of waivers because that enrollment keeps going up for two reasons. One, because it's just a growing part of town, and two, because of the STEM magnet. So they'll be at the same number as everybody else, but if we send kids over there, it'll be too high. And then RBB, we can't send kids on base.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why, sir.
Okay. And when do we anticipate that the Garfield staff will know where they're going?
I'm gonna have to put Ms. Childress on the line. When did we schedule the committee meeting with the principals for, Ms. Childress?
We'll be sending out them to give us their estimated counts and how many teachers they're going to be needing this week. And then we'll schedule something for next week to meet with them to start the committee together to start.
So, as the earliest would be the third week in April.
Okay.
Okay. The latest would be the fourth week in April.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Mr. Orfeld?
Just to follow up on that, since, and I'm sure we've already talked about it, for those teachers that will be being dispersed to other campuses, the district they can pack everything up and we will move it, all right, to the campuses that they're going to, so they don't have to.
Mr. Overfeld, we sent out a letter to the teachers that were being reassigned, and we shared with them, that the district would provide boxes for them, and that we would move it for them, and then we also offered them 8 hours of extra duty pay that they could use to pack up and set their room up.
Cool, thank you.
Anyone else? We're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next report we have is item 8C, term for attendance and discipline report. Any questions from board members regarding attendance or discipline report? It's in the packet. Dr. Rios?
Just a note, Mr. Mesa, the first and second and third term, we had seen increases. Unfortunately, during the fourth term, we had some very cold days. If you remember, we didn't do a late start, and even though we had better attendance than had we done a late start, it still affected our attendance terribly that entire week. And then there was just a whole lot of illnesses. So unfortunately, we did see a considerable drop for the fourth term when compared to last year. But hopefully with the warmer days coming, we'll see a trend up and to the right when compared to last year.
I noticed that we dropped from the 90s to the 80s. So I don't think we'll have any more freezing days. I think we're out of it. Okay, so I expect to see the next one,
You just jinxed us.
principles that will be in the 90s, okay? Any questions from, or again, for Lars and Date? Anyone? We're good? Okay. Then we go on to item D, facilities and construction update. Hector Chapa.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Tonight's presentation will provide an update on the ongoing Cody Ward Law renovation project, as well as the HVAC equipment replacement project. Currently, plumbing is on standby until further notice. The only thing pending on them is for staff and contractors to finish installing wall tile and floor tile so the plumbers can come back and install the fixtures. HVAC continues to progress, as well as the electrical. And also the window contractor has been installing windows on the lower level exterior windows. The painting has begun under a separate PO for just sanding the ceiling and trusses, the metal trusses. This slide indicates the new windows on the east side of the building, on the lower level. The contractor proposes to start the upper level as soon as possible, as soon as he gets additional materials, and in advance of the HVAC contractor setting the equipment on the concrete pads. Staff has progress on the interior to where they're taping float. They finished the bathrooms, and they continue to the foyer. The tile is scheduled to arrive later on this week, and contractors set to start Monday setting a ceramic tile, both on the floor and walls of the restrooms. On the interior, the HVAC contractor has already set the air handlers for both restrooms. And there's a picture there of the contractor that's just doing the sanding on the ceiling. The maintenance projects are listed there. They're still being reviewed by the Citizens Committee. The perimeter fencing for San Felipe Memorial Middle School is out for bids right now and scheduled to be opened on April the 1st. Going on to the work order status of maintenance department. The past 90 days, there was a total of 924 tickets created. 91% were completed. On the 0 to 15 days, 158 tickets were created, 82% completed. 16 to 30 days, 220 tickets were created, 93% completed. 31 to 60 days, 282 tickets were submitted, 92% completed. 61 to 90 days, 264 tickets were submitted, 94% completed. Technology department, for the past 90 days, 2,584 tickets were created, 91% completed. 0 to 15 days, 695 tickets created, 73% completed. 16 to 30 days, 528 tickets were created, 97% complete. 31 to 60 days, 819 tickets were created, 98% were completed. 61 to 90 days, 542 tickets were created, 99% completed. Transportation Department, 303 tickets were created in the previous 90 days, 96% were completed. On 0 to 15 days, 84 tickets were created, 96% completed. 16 to 30 days, 46 tickets were created, 96% were completed. 31 to 60 days, 114 tickets were created, 96% were completed. 61 to 90 days, 59 tickets were created, 95% were completed. Questions?
Questions, board members? Dr. Rios, or Ms. Chapa, really don't see the need anymore for the acoustical work at Del Rio Middle School. I mean, we'll have less students. Can we
Yeah,
use that for something else?
Mr. Mesa, can you put that list back up there?
Yes,
Chapa? So that particular list there, Mr. Mesa, is unfortunately, all of those are unfunded items right now, except for the fences. We're just aggregating the costs, and then they'll, prioritize them for future projects. But unfortunately, unless it's a fence, or unless our people are doing it locally, like, for example, the lights at the Student Guidance and Learning Center, they did the remodel, but they never changed the lights. So our people are doing that. That's why there isn't a cost next to it. But for the rest of these, there really isn't a budget. We just want to prioritize so that we want the committee to tell us, this is what we deem the most important, second, important, third, so that if the board ever decides to use any excess funds, they can. But I don't know what to tell you. Unfortunately, none of those high-priced items would happen this year or this summer, except for possibly the work that our people are doing, like the locker rooms at Garfield, because our people will do that work. But those that have a price up there, the acoustical treatment at Del Rio Middle School, the interior refresh at Calderon, which in my opinion would be the #1 project to do, but just because we're not going to do anything with a bond with that, if there is a bond. But again, that's just not going to happen. Obviously, the HVAC needs possibly can, because we've brought that to you. But yeah, you mentioned that before, Mr. Mesa, and maybe we shouldn't even put this slide up there anymore because it's just not going to happen. So that's fine.
It's been done once, but to no avail.
Yeah.
There was a number of students, and so we're reducing the number of students, so it should make a big difference.
It'll give us, at least it'll give us a year, right, to see what effect it has. Yeah, it's fine. Although having been there, I think we know that whether it's 25 kids in the cafeteria or 500 kids in the cafeteria, it's just it was poorly designed. So,
Okay. That's my only comment.
yeah.
All right. Anyone? We're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. Again, one item will approve all items. One vote will approve all items on the consent agenda. There are some minutes of some meetings. There are some, again, purchases that were made under consent agenda. If there's anything that needs to be pulled out, or you have a question on any of these items, now's the time to address it. Yes, Mr. Orfeld.
On F2,
F2.
for the scoreboards,
Consideration to approve purchase order over $25,000 with Daktronics Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $30,603 by board. Funding source 170 committed funds for providing the scoreboards. It's Cody Wardlaw.
just out of curiosity, did we go talk to any businesses or anything like that and say, hey, how would you like to sponsor the new scoreboard and the newly remodeled Cody Wardlaw?
No, we haven't, but I know that Coach McCray asked if he should do that. And, we'll approve it and we'll order it and we'll ask him if somebody wants to put their name on it. It's just, it's a little hard because there's some people that have been loyal to the district. Cody Warlaw is going to be a big thing. And I bet the first person we go to is going to say yes. And then the other people are gonna say, well, why didn't you come to us? Because, so that's why we didn't jump on anyone, because
Okay.
we're just struggling with that. But if anybody's watching and they come forward, well, that's different.
Just say.
Let's go see Frenchie McRae at Delray High School.
Will do.
Awesome.
So anybody listening, please consider that. Anyone else with a question?
F4?
F4. Okay, consideration to approve a purchase order over 25,000 with U.S. Armor Corporation, the amount not to exceed $46,200. Funding source, Fund 429, rifle resistant body armor for the purchase of plate carriers with ballistic inserts for San Felipe Del Rio CISD. Welcome, Chief.
Good evening, Mr. Mesa.
Afternoon, evening. Chief, no, me and Mr. Almaraz were just talking about that. Is that going to be, are we ordering enough for everybody who serves on our department, or is it going to kind of be rolled out in phases?
I'm ordering enough for everyone.
Okay, perfect. Good deal. Just wanted to make sure. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick comment. Thanks for working on that. I think it's long overdue, and we know the necessity for those items. So thank you for working on that and getting it done.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir. Anyone else with a question? If not, we'll consider the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Ms. Orfeld made a motion to approve. Mrs. Webb seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Go on to administration. Again, consideration to approve the first reading and final reading for CE Local Annual Operating Budget. Sandra Hernandez.
Good evening once again, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. The policy that we're presenting on this particular policy, CE Local, is the revision to reflect the change of the operation of the district's fiscal year from September the 1st and ending August 31st to beginning July 1st and ending June 30th. And that's the current practice that we have.
Questions? Sandra, as always, when you meet with principals and you get any requests for larger items, Dr. Rios, whatever it might be, will that be considered? Will there be sufficient funds in regard to the requests?
Mr. Mesa, we don't know what the state's going to do in terms of budget, and we don't know how much of our excess fund balance we're going to do. So we'll take their requests, but again, it'll be something that won't be determined until after the budget is adopted, because we have to wait and see what the legislature is going to do. Are they going to be helpful, or are they not? So in all honesty, we really have to wait till July or August.
And my follow-up question will be, with some of the revenue that we might recoup from the appraisal district, will that be incorporated into next year's budget?
It'll be incorporated into the excess fund balance for us to determine what we have to, and we're going to start the budget process, at least the meetings next week if the board decides to hold the first meeting next week. But the biggest question for the Board of Trustees, in my opinion, y'all could obviously feel different, but the biggest question is, after we decide what it looks like the state's going to give us, what kind of raise are we going to be able to offer our employees? And is that going to go into the excess fund balance that we have or not? So until we have those questions answered and then have the board respond to those questions, then we'll determine how much money we have for those projects. That's why all those projects that were up there that we were talking about, different things, we can't commit to any of them until we hear from the state, and then the board decides. But I know that it's weighing heavily on the board that they weren't able to give a raise last year. And at least if I remember correctly, that was what y'all wanted to address first, so.
Yes. Then any updates on the transfer of Department of Education going to the state in regard to federal money?
The only update that I have heard is that the federal government intends to use other agencies as pass-through for those funds, and that they intend to continue to fund. But nothing has been put in writing. It's all rhetoric at this point.
Any updates in regard to, the only thing that I've heard is special ed will be going to Department of Health and Human Services. Any other update that you know of?
No, sir, and Ms. Childress and I discussed it also. We don't.
Yeah, that's a big concern for me. If you know what I mean. Okay, well, keep us updated because again, there's two things happening. Again, we'll make a visit to Austin on April 2nd and 3rd. But the state is one thing, the budget of the state, and then the transitioning from Department of Education, which again might affect the Region Center and you know our trainers and so forth. So if anybody knows anything, would you please let us know as soon as possible?
Yes, sir.
Any further questions for Sandra? Okay. Sandra, the recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the first and final reading of Board Policy CE Local Annual Operating Budget as presented.
With the recommendation, there's a motion from Mr. Galindo, second from Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item B, consideration to approve second reading of proposed revision to local policy EIC Local Academic Achievement Class Ranking. Sandra Hernandez.
Thank you, sir. As you mentioned, this is the second reading of policy draft EIC Local on class ranking. During the Board Policy Review Committee meeting held last Wednesday, March the 12th, the committee members recommended additional edits from the original draft that was presented previously in the first reading. And this particular draft establishes the criteria and simplifies the language that will explain the calculation. And you will see that you have a new copy in front of you. It simplifies. The calculation shall include the semester grades from the 4 highest yearly averages earned in the highest weighted category for English, mathematics, and science, and the semester grades from the 3 highest yearly averages earned in the highest weighted category for social studies. In addition to that edit, to that discussion with our principals, Arroyo High School and Early College High School principals, the committee recommended that we include language that would limit the changes to course selection up to the 4th week of the first grading period of each semester. So we included language in the policy that you'll see text that says the student shall not be permitted to drop or add a course after the 4th week of the first grading period of each semester.
Questions? No questions, board members? No questions. Recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the second reading of policy EIC Local Academic Achievement Class Ranking as presented.
Okay. I'll call for a motion. Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Becky Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Item C, consideration to approve first reading of TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 124, affecting policies DAA, local fiscal management, CDA, local other revenues investments, CY, local intellectual property.
Thank you again, Mr. Mesa. The Policy Review Committee met again on Wednesday, March the 12th, to review this series of policy updates released by TASB. The recommended revisions, to CAA local at federal awards disclosure are to align text with the updated rules regarding federal grants found in the Code of Federal Regulations. And this guidance became effective October the 1st, 2024. In CDA local, the section on sellers of investments is recommended for revision to specify that representatives with the distributors of investment pools must be registered with the Texas State Securities Board. And that is included in the text in that policy. Under CY local, that policy clarifies the circumstances under which the district's intellectual property may be used and where ownership of intellectual property lies when material is created by district employee. And this is only one part one of a group of policy drafts that were released by TASB, and these are all under the CAA, which is the financial and fiscal management as well.
There was some discussion in regard to, intellectual property, which is, when you read it, you understand it, that school logo and so forth, that this is school-generated, it's personal property from the school district. No one can, make T-shirts and sell them because, again, that belongs to us.
Yes, sir, without permission by the district.
Yeah, and so that's interesting to find out that, during COVID, for example, there were a lot of things that, masks included, that were being sold with a logo and so forth. So we call it to their attention, and they can't do that. Correct, Sandra?
Correct.
Okay, just so everyone will understand.
So if a booster club wants to use the SFDR logo and the ram or the queen, they've got to get written permission from us to do that?
They're already affiliated with the school district, aren't they? Booster clubs?
That's correct, and they're 100% of their profits go for our students, so they're part of us.
So if Walmart wants to do T-shirts and sweaters like they've done in the past, they'd have to reach out to us for permission.
And they usually do, and they give us a small percentage of the profit.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yes.
no further questions? Recommendation.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the first reading of TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 124, Part 1, affecting policy CAA local, fiscal management, goals and objectives, financial ethics, CDA local, other revenues, investments, and CY local, intellectual property, as presented.
For the recommendation, I'll entertain a motion. Motion made by Amy Haynes, seconded by Mr. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item 14D, consideration to approve the 2024-2030 strategic plan. Sandra Hernandez.
Yes, sir. Student success is at the heart of every district, and it is the heart of every district strategic plan as well. During the team of 8, you were provided with a copy of the strategic plan, the district strategic plan, for review, and you used this during your collaboration process. At this time, the administration requests approval of the 2024 through 2030 SFDR CISD strategic plan.
Okay. Questions?
No.
Anyone? So everybody understands when we had the training, we had lots of discussion on that. Okay. Then I think Becky has made a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion and seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Item E, consideration to approve the superintendent's evaluation instrument. Sandra Hernandez.
Yes, sir. The evaluation instrument, the superintendent's evaluation instrument is aligned with the strategic plan. And so the recommendation of the administration is to approve the edits that were made to the superintendent's evaluation plan.
Questions? No questions. Okay. Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the Board of Trustees approve the revisions to the superintendent's evaluation instrument as presented.
Regards to recommendation, Mrs. Webb made a motion, a seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next item we have is Human Resources. Item 14A, discussion, possible action to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Amy Childress.
Mr. Mesa,
Yes.
we will table until after closed session both items 14A and 14B.
Okay. We'll table those items and we go on to item D, consideration to approve the submission of the 2024-2025 request for maximum class size waiver exception to TEA. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. On February 25th, 2025, a survey was done for class sizes, and we do have 8 classes that we are needing to submit waivers for because they did exceed the class size limit.
So, questions from board members? So can you tell me a total of classrooms that are over the class limit?
For this waiver, we're for 8. Let me see here. Give me this one.
Total, I'm talking total. I believe this is the 4th time that we do this, 3rd or 4th time.
14. So I will have 22 total throughout the year did fall back into that we applied for earlier in the year, did fall back into within the 22-to-1 ratio. So currently, as of the February 25th date, I would have 22 classrooms that are over the class ratios.
And there's no possible way of adding another teacher, Dr. Reeves?
Financially, Mr. Mesa, yes. However, we have vacancies and we have the fill uncertified teachers. So unfortunately, we would take students from a certified teacher and move them with an uncertified teacher if we added another one. So our recommendation would be to forego that vacancy process and approve the class size waiver.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mr. Orfeld?
Because I have some info, I just wanted to cross-check there. What's the max size again as defined by TEA? So like, for kinder through 4th grade, it's what?
22
22.
to 1.
Okay, and then 6 through 8? Is
There's
there
no limit.
Nothing after that. And then pre-K, is there a max on pre-K or a TEA limit on pre-K? Is it 22 also?
It's governed
Or
by the
lower?
federal government, but at the pre-K level, we are able to use the teacher and the aide. And in that case, I'm going to say 1 to 10. Is a lot of Talamantes here, Dr. Talamantes? Is it 1 to 10, Dr. Talamantes?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I was
1 to
right.
10.
Okay, because I'm just curious, because Northside ISD, there was a story that came out this week about Northside ISD and what they're facing for next year and already starting to look at their budget. And they were talking about in kinder through 4th, they're going to go from 23 to 1 to 25 to 1, and in pre-K 22 to 1 to 25 to 1, but we'll ignore pre-K. So 23 to 1 to 25 to 1 for kinder through 4th. If they're doing that across the NISD, is that something that they have to waiver every single classroom?
No,
Or
sir.
is there like a blanket thing you can apply to TEA for and say, hey, this is probably going to happen over the next year or two,
Yeah,
and we can just blanket?
The District of Innovation process allows that. As a matter of fact, the commissioner himself encouraged classrooms. A year and a half ago, I believe that Mr. Mesa and I were at the MASBA conference, and the commissioner spoke, and when they challenged him on shortage of teachers and shortage of budgets, he encouraged districts to use the District of Innovation process to increase the classroom limits at the elementary levels. So yes, sir, we could go through the District of Innovation, ask for, to waive the class size requirements, and then set our own limits.
Oh, okay.
So that is a possibility. Where's Ms. Hernandez? Yeah, so she would, if we decided to go in that direction, we could definitely do that. I just not ready to do that yet.
Yeah, I was just curious how Northside was doing it, so I figured there would be an answer to that. Thank you.
Yeah, there are a couple of things, Mr. Orfeld. Northside, their deficit budget is huge. They're losing a lot of enrollment to charter schools, and so they're having to do something drastic. I wouldn't recommend for us in regard to, again, the effectiveness of teaching kind of goes, too many students, and it's hard for the teachers to reach all students. So it's a difficult thing to decide on, but, yeah. Okay. Any further questions for Ms. Childress? Okay, then recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submission of the 2024-2025 request for maximum class size waiver exception to TEA and compliance plan.
For the recommendation, is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Becky Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, the time is 7:57 PM. We're going to go into closed session pursuant to 551.074 and 551.71. If any action needs to be taken, it will be taken upon reconvening into open session. We're now in closed session. Okay, the time is 9:30 PM. We're now in open session. No action was taken in executive. We're down to item, we had skipped that, Human Resources, item 14B, A and B. Discussion, possible action to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This evening, administration brings to you updates for the Coordinator of Fine Arts, Coordinator of Human Resources, Coordinator Human Resources Information Systems, and Coordinator Teacher Incentive Allotment and Talent Development job descriptions and evaluations.
Any questions? Hearing none. Recommendation,
Yes,
please.
sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the employee job descriptions and evaluation forms as discussed.
Here's the recommendation. There a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Orfeld. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item B, consideration to approve the updated 2024-2025 district compensation plan. Amy Childress.
Yes, sir. We have two changes that we're bringing to you on the administrative professional pay plan. They correlate with the updates to the job descriptions, and that is moving the coordinator HRIS from a pay grade, administrative professional pay grade 2 to the pay grade 3, and the coordinator teacher incentive allotment and talent development position from a pay grade 4 to the pay grade 3.
Any questions for Amy? None? Okay. You want to read the recommendation, please?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the updated 2024-2025 district compensation plans as presented.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Almaraz, seconded by, okay, Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to the item 18A, consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations.
Good evening once more. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the retirements, resignations, and vacancies and the following new personnel: Erica Hernandez, graphic design, CTE graphic design and interactive media teacher for Del Rio High School.
At the recommendations, there a motion for approval. Amy Haynes, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item B, discussion possible action to approve district contracts, teacher contracts. Amy Childress.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the teacher contracts as discussed in closed session.
Questions for Amy? None? Recommendation? No questions?
No.
Motion for approval? Motion made by Amy Haynes, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item C, discussion possible action to approve administrator and professional contracts. Amy Childress.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the administrator and professional contracts as discussed in closed session.
Any questions or discussions? None? Then, okay, Mr. Almaraz made a motion, Becky Chavez seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. No other business on the agenda. Is there a motion for adjournment? Mr. Galindo made a motion, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Thank you very much. We are adjourned.